And you are now live.
We need to vote. We had reviewed them tentatively and voted, but we can't vote before we actually had the bill referred to the committee. So the first one that I wanted to take up was the Dr. Dinosaur Like Bill, which is House Bill number H430. We had an amendment that basically took the appropriation out of the bill and dealt with it in the budget, included the funding in the budget. So we would move the bill favorably as amended and just replace the appropriation to state, to the extent that applicable funds are appropriated in the fiscal year 2020 budget, the Agency of Human Services shall use them for the following purposes. So unless there's a need to redo this, I would just simply like to do a vote now. And if Senator Baruth wants to call the roll.
Happy to do it.
Okay.
Senator Ballin.
I don't think she's on. We'll get her vote when she does come on.
Okay. Senator Baruth, yes. Senator Westman.
Yes.
Senator Starr.
Yes.
Dick can't vote, right? Because he's not.
Correct.
visual?
Right.
Okay. Senator Nitka
Yes.
and Senator Kitchell.
Yes.
Okay, so we are
Dick, can Dick vote?
502.
No, he has to be visually present.
No, but when he gets back and.
Oh,
he's-
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll hold that open, Jane, for the
Okay.
two.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'll
then we
vote
had
yes when I get in person.
all right. When we can see that lovely face. So I'm going to
Thank you. Yeah.
our next bill, Chrissy, that we need to take up is there were
210.
two.
And
Pardon me?
H210.
Okay, that's the health disparity bill.
That's correct.
Okay.
So Chrissy, I've already sent that to the clerk's office.
And no, we know. So same with 430. We sent them both to the clerk's office and we just put the cart before the horse. So we just need
I thought what you said in this was that we had already done it and I couldn't remember us voting on it. So, but I thought maybe I was crazy.
no.
Well, you're gonna have a chance to vote again. So this is the health disparity bill and the appropriation we had put into the budget. And so unless there's further discussion, we'll just do the vote and then we will have Senator Sears and Senator Ballant vote when they come.
Senator Ballant. Senator Baruth, yes. Senator Westman.
Yes.
Senator Starr.
Yes.
Senator Sears. Senator Nitka.
Yes.
Senator Kitchell.
Yes.
Okay, again, 502 with the vote held open.
And I am the reporter for 430 and Senator Westman is the reporter for 210. So that part is done. Now we had a bill referred to us. Is that's the assessment of schools? Is that bill the one that got referred to us this morning?
I have later at 3, I have Senator Collmore and Michael O'Grady coming in on H434.
That's the ag bill, right?
Correct. Correct.
Do you know why that was referred to a prompt? Is it because of the board members' costs?
Which one?
434.
What is
I
it?
think the appropriation, it must have come because there's a 13-member board that's going to sit on the innovation committee.
Oh,
And there's 8 of those people that could possibly be paid. And we figured there's $120 a meeting for those, each one of those, 8, and there's 4 meetings. So that's 32 meetings, and it could come to about $3,500. And we got 2-point-some million generated by funds, and they'll be paid out of those funds. So
Well,
I don't,
do you think we still need to have Michael Grady come in?
no, I was surprised that they said they had to come in this morning in committee. And I said, well, it's got to be the board, the cost of that board. And so we'd already figured out that there was all kinds of money in there to be paid from the pesticide advisory fund.
Okay. All right. Well, is that all there is in there, Stephanie?
I think that's all there is there for the reason it's come here to Senate Appropriations.
Well, I'm
I
just thinking in light, if that's all it is because of the board, we could move that bill without having Michael Grady and Brian come in, if in fact that's all that it does. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're asking, Bobby. Are you suggesting it isn't necessary, or just explaining why the bill's coming to us and the fiscal impact?
I think that was the only reason the bill came to Probes, is because of that board. And I thought if I explained that and I was right, that it would save Michael O'Grady from getting off whatever he's doing and Brian off whatever he's doing, because there's ample money in the fund, and that's where they're going to get paid from. And I could report that, you know.
Yeah, well, you would be the reporter for appropriations.
Yeah, and Brian's going to report.
It's a lengthy bill.
What's the bill number again? Sorry.
434 H 434.
434. And did it come into us today actually, or is it headed our way?
No, I think you've had it.
We have it. We actually have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should have come over Friday, I think. But that's the only thing I could see in the bill that costs money.
$434, huh?
Yes. It's establishing the Agricultural Innovation Board.
Did you make any changes from the House?
So is the April 22nd draft of it the most recent draft?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the one passed by the House. Is that unless you amended it?
There's a whole strike column from Michael Grady, draft 3.2. That's the Senate proposal.
I'm going to forward you what I got from Michael Grady. And it's also on our website.
That's 3.2 and it's dated 4/21, if that's the one. That's the one on the website.
We did change that to some degree.
I see. Okay.
But we went back through it quickly this morning, and Michael was there with us, and the only thing we could find where it was costing money was, and then we didn't delete what we were already paying the old board, the Pesticide Advisory Board, for their meetings to find a net increase. But there's over a couple of $1 million in that fund that's generated from license fees that cover that cost.
Who gets licensed? The applicators?
The companies that get a license to sell those products in our state.
Mhm.
A very low number of people that would be funded that aren't already covered by their salary to serve.
Right.
Not only that, it's renaming too. It's it's a replacement of the Pesticide Advisory Council. So it's not as
Yeah.
though it's something new, it's a replacement.
Yeah.
And it seems like, so it's not as though it's an additive expenditure unless you've really done a lot to change the membership. And
No,
so I guess the question is, committee, do you want to move the bill without having to have Michael O'Grady and because that would be talking about more of the contents as opposed to the reimbursement for the commission members.
Mhm. I'm fine with that.
Fine. with
Okay.
that.
And there's
Okay.
8 of them, 8 out of the 13 that would have to be paid if they showed up.
Okay, unless they were otherwise compensated.
Well, there's 5 that are compensated by where they work. That's what we figured.
But we have overriding language on reimbursement that basically says if you're reimbursed by your employment, then you don't
You don't get paid to serve for your time on the board.
Is that in there?
We have general language that does that, Alice.
I know, but don't we,
You can only be paid if you're not covered by your.
yes, I know, but don't we usually put that in the bill?
No, we don't have to
No.
because we have overarching language
Okay.
that just applies to all of them.
Okay.
So committee, I think the general feeling is that this is just a kind of a renaming, that the membership is in all likelihood going to be compensated for their participation because of the nature of their employment, but if not, they would be reimbursed.
Chrissy,
The amount
Beck-
is modest, so.
sorry, Becca's trying to get in, Chrissy. She wants to know if you'll let her in.
Oh, thank you very much. I had the doorbell off.
Okay,
All this bill does is that, it's 186 pages,
it's only 10, or is it an 8?
12.
Huh?
12.
12?
12. All right,
What are you looking at?
What's 186 pages?
no,
Yeah,
no.
Richie's looking at the
Bill.
budget.
Okay, all right. So does someone want to move the bill favorably? Senator Baruth, okay. Recognizing that the impact is negligible, it's really more of a renaming, and that the reimbursement is already embedded in and through this fund.
Yeah.
So we have a motion to move the bill.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Senator Starr. I'm going to have our clerk call the roll.
Senator Ballin,
Yes.
Senator Baruth, yes. Senator Westman,
Yes,
Senator Starr,
Yes,
Senator Sears, Senator Nitka,
Yes,
Senator Kitchell.
Yes. We'll have Senator Sears indicate his vote when we see him in person.
Yeah,
Senator Starr would be the reporter of the bill.
did you see that last page of the bill?
What is it?
Oh, Bobby got a new committee room.
Oh,
well, I guess if I'm ever gonna get one, I'd have to put it in a bill because institutions has a hard time making a decision.
they don't have a hard time making a decision. They just don't want to do it, Bob.
So, Madam Chair, if you would entertain a motion, I could add that right to the end of
Yeah,
this.
well, And I'm sure that it would be met with strong concurrence by the other body. Okay.
Yeah, they could care less, those bums.
Now, the other bill that we have before us is 426, and that's the Education Committee bill on school facilities. It's something that was talked about last year. Do we have anyone who wants to come in on that?
I have Becky Wasserman available at 3:15 to join the committee on that one. And then I'm reached out to Senator Perchlik.
Okay.
I don't know much about the bill, so.
Do we, I'm
I
having
had
a hard time finding that. Do we not have that yet?
H426.
I can't see it on the website.
It's not, it just came into us today and I've been trying to get witnesses, so I'll have it posted shortly. But it is on, if you just type for H426, it should
Okay.
pop in, but not on our website yet.
Got it.
Working on it.
Did it get amended in the Senate?
It did.
Okay. That I had talked to Senator Perchlik, and one of the things that he's been particularly interested in, and we as a committee had talked about it, and that was how to have some language added in terms of when these assessments are completed to evaluate the school for either remediation or improvement or installation of the advanced wood heat systems. And because originally the Education Committee had talked about moving out 7 million, but we thought it was addressed in another place. And so I had said that this would be a good opportunity to really determine which schools would be good candidates for this, and that this is something that we would look at next in January, once we have a better sense of what schools have heating systems that just need some improvement, because I guess there's some that really could be made more efficient. They don't have to be replaced. I think we have one right here in Danville, a wood chip system, back when Ben Saluzzi was chair of institutions and there was money to do that. And so I don't have the language, but I had suggested that we would entertain language that would have as part of this assessment identification of schools for which these advanced wood systems would be suitable, or improvements could be made in existing ones to make them more efficient. And then we would deal with it in January. Yes.
So I'm assuming that the money for this is already in the House side and we didn't move it?
Yes, I believe is this, originally there was some discussion about it. Stephanie, can you
So
clarify
this is
funding?
the H426 bill.
Yes.
And the House used entirely ESSER 2 and 3 funds for it. They did not use any other state or federal dollars
Okay.
in this bill.
And we left that the same in our bill.
Yeah. That's
So is there money for advanced wood heat or not?
no, not in this bill. What we would be doing is getting the data to help us determine what there's been some suggestion that we try to do a match program with schools. They're getting quite a bit of money, and to encourage them and work. And this is something Efficiency Vermont and probably our Clean Energy Development Fund people would be involved in. So this is more getting the information, including a consideration of advanced wood heat systems for each of these buildings when they're doing the assessment.
So could we put some language in that would show that what we're thinking of doing, so that
That's what I'm talking about, is adding an amendment to this bill once we get it, when we take testimony. I asked Senator Perchlik if he could offer me some draft language that this committee could consider. And I think maybe
Yeah.
that will happen. I'm just informing the committee of the discussion I had relative to a request that came to us earlier and how we're agreed to move forward with it, to say with the other possibility is there's money in that capital $113 million bucket. So it's a way of getting more information to figure out what would be the potential use or need out there. And then we can decide when we return in January. What I'm saying is so many of these decisions, we could use the advantage of a little more time, a little more information, and that there is money still out there to be allocated, but this allows us to do it in a more informed way. So that is all I was saying about this bill. Was I would ask the committee here to consider that additional language as an amendment that we could consider.
I'd be for it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't have it, so I'm just rolling it out in, kind of in a broad way of what it would do. And this seemed to be the most appropriate vehicle since it is going out and doing the assessment. It's something that was talked about last year, Senator Brewers. You remember that discussion?
Sure.
And I think it was because there were some schools where the waste systems had malfunctioned and sewage was in the basement of some schools, and other, might have had very
Areas where they were
significant.
being rained on and.
Yeah. So it was a desire to really take stock of our K through 12 public infrastructure out there and what the needs might be. And part of that assessment, I believe, will be for the radon testing.
Yeah.
So we don't have anybody scheduled to come in yet until 3:15.
Correct, 3:15.
Okay, and it's not even 2 o'clock yet. So I guess we will wait on that one. And do we have any other bills that have been sent that we just need to make ourselves aware of?
So three came today. Do we just go over all three? Three,
Well, we went over 430. We went over the health disparity, and the other bill that came to us today, I think, was maybe the 426 bill. Are you aware of any others, Chrissy, that came today?
I'm looking at the in and out right now. I'm not aware. I think you got them all, but let me just quick double check. 171 to 10. Nope, you got them all.
Okay. So we've got them all. The other question or a conversation is around the big bill and how we're going to proceed. It always works well to do an all-member caucus so people can ask questions. We can have the advantage of having some joint fiscal staff there to expand on any areas where people might want more information than I'm going to be able to do. And I don't know, Senator Ballin, if we have decided on it. One option would be later Wednesday afternoon, but that runs into the Senate Finance Committee schedule, and they're really got quite a bit of work to get done, including the broadband bill, the yield bill, and I don't know, the miscellaneous tax bill, I think, are still there. So the other option is 11:30 on Thursday.
That's right.
And that seems to be the most convenient time. If we can let the morning committees that are still meeting shave a half hour off, we could go through the budget at that point.
Yeah, well, I don't know about other morning. I've only got one and we're just wrapping up. basically all done. And so we're no problem on our side in
Okay.
ag. I don't know about Senator Sears though. He gets swamped with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, he may be able, Senator Sears, with 11:30 on Thursday, work because
I guess-
three,
Well, we have a joint session scheduled with the Health and Welfare Committee on the buprenorphine bill, which is a priority of the President Pro Tem. So I don't see as how a half an hour would kill it. And, but I really need to check it with Senator Lyons to make sure.
Well, they'd have to be at the meeting.
yeah, and we've got 3 members of judiciary
Yeah.
on this
For
committee. So,
judiciary, I guess I'd say judiciary would be okay. But I don't want to speak for Senator Lyons since it's a joint hearing.
Yeah,
She'd have a hard time having a joint hearing if you were all at this.
That's a good point, Bobby. I never think of those things.
No.
There are,
the other option would be noon, and then the afternoon committee start at 1:30.
Yeah, we don't want to screw up the afternoon. The finance committee's battling, as I understand it.
Yeah, so it looks like you're taking testimony starting at 8:30 on Thursday.
correct.
So that would give you 3 hours of testimony. I know it means you may not have time for a break. So
Well, I mean, that would be the end of the world. Could
okay.
you just have Carolyn check with Senator Lyons so
Absolutely.
I don't
Yep.
get in trouble with her?
Yep. I'll take care of that right now.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm just thinking it's only 2, and we don't have our witnesses until 3:15.
And I've got to leave at 3:15.
Yeah. Madam,
And you
Madam,
have to leave at 2. So I'm going to adjourn this committee right now. If we come back, we will let people know. But I'm